FM. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store or go na Salon Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering value.
Sierra Leone Commercial Bank.
Way for help people the way they do small thing for survive, and then one the way they run place like cinema all for manage their life during COVID-19.
The Anti-Corruption Commission get what say people they go around a Kambulto area now Watalo they take money now people in hand, especially women them for register they forget about 1.5 to 2 million loans.
The Anti-Corruption Commission will make all man know say the money where World Bank and government of Salone they give for help people and then tell me now 1,309,000 loans.
If anybody ask you for money for register you, or if you been don't give money to anybody back, call ACC now 515 or report now the police station where they near you.
Make sure say you not give penny to anybody for register you for get money where World Bank and government of Salone give for help people them during this COVID-19 sick. This message come out from the Anti-Corruption Commission with support from World Bank.
Corruption. Good morning, Salone. They continue, and don't forget yourself when they listen to the program can ask you questions, make comments or issues them where we discuss on the program this morning 0779819181. Now the number for sending message so or gonna read the Democrats 98.1 Facebook page and YouTube and drop your message as we get Solomon Jamiru on the program this morning where they talk about how far Salone they and the fight against the coronavirus. Now let's look at the quarantine homes them. We learned say out of the 16 districts them, 5 districts and they right now where people not in a quarantine. You will take me through them districts and decide them where we still get people within our quarantine homes.
Yes, thank you, Mabel. For we quarantine now 573 in a quarantine nationwide. You get western area urban, western area rural, Putloko, Pujong, Banff, Kenema, Kailaun, Bombali, Falaba, Moyamba, and Bo districts. And then you get people them within a quarantine at the moment. So the side also will not get person within quarantine at the moment. Na Tonkolili district, Karine district, Konor district. We also get Koinadugu district and Kambia district. So now them placed and they will get people them currently now quarantine. So as I say again, we total number now 573. We got more people in what we call self-quarantine or home quarantine than government or organization managed quarantine. So yes, I will confirm say them place and then they now get people them in quarantine at the moment.
So what about the one where you talk about say the self-quarantine where people don't do? How effective it don't be, especially concerns and maybe don't they come say people can they self-isolate themselves, but testing not can be sufficient or they not can do at all in some area them. How effective it don't be towards this fight?
Well, if we look at how we are able to managing quarantine then so far as against the problems we would get, we go say we are fairly stable. So for example, recently now with WASC, one of the things with quarantine they do now, and that they even picking them within a quarantine home where they sit WASC, would they send vehicles, then now they go pick them, take them to center, sit the examinations, and go back into home quarantine. So we don't able for managers so far. The term will be really get a lot of them quarantines at the start. Maybe it was not easy, and especially for security because with manpower, with security manpower in the country very thin. We fully spread them all over to. You need a lot. I think a lot of that engagement don't make people them able for know waiting for do in home quarantine as long as we they manage and supervise them from NACOVAC.
Okay, we look at the assessment from Munayon perspective when we been get the measures them and now we don't lift the measures them. How you can look at how can analyze the cases we get now compared to the time we been get all the measures them in place?
I go say the fact is cases don't go down considerably. I mean that is the fact that we don't get, but we they say we not for relax. Now that make, and I think it's important for me to talk about this at this point. We got what we call the active case search or what we call the enhanced search. We don't plan them based on the assessment of how the virus they move or based on the assessment of where the virus may be concentrated at this point, how we dey see infection they go on na the country, we introduce what we call the active case search or enhanced search. From the technical standpoint, we concentrate on the western area, urban and rural, and we get selected districts who also the target. A lot of training don't take place. A lot of, we don't recruit people in surveillance, contact tracers, swabbers, specimen collectors, and other people who we need for this active case search. And now we intensify them. So we move into this very important phase. And one of the things we don't see, we really encourage now that we get people now from different communities where they come out voluntarily for be tested. We don't see a lot of people come out in Tumbu. We don't see a lot of people come out even in western area urban. And we just don't get a team. We don't come up from different districts. We don't come back. They don't go engage them districts and now they are waiting for this all-important surge. So in terms of the cases, generally, we don't get considerable decline. And if you look at the quarantine table, 573 people now in quarantine compared to USA will be there. And if you look at recoveries, now we're standing at about 78% of the cumulative confirmed cases. I think we really don't able to hold we head above water. But since we talk about a virus where a lot of things unknown about the virus, we tell with people and say, make we not relax. And that make the more we ease the measures, now the more we intensify the search.
So is it, when I in any way come to conclusion, say, or think, say, the measures them not been there in place for fight COVID-19? When I ever think about that?
They're always there. But one thing about, for we, Salone, when you look back, when I talk about preparedness, we find out, say, we early screening, we mandatory quarantine. If anybody get for ask the question, what makes Salone able to maintain a fairly stable situation when it comes to COVID? I think the bet is go back to what we do at preparedness. And now that we're in the response, even with then kind cases where they see, somebody go say, about this thing done. But we are saying to people, the more the cases they decline, now the more we they push and intensify the fight against coronavirus. And I think it's important. That's what the Sierra Leonean people expect of us. Now that make we not relax. Now that make we push very heavy.
Back to the issue of people where they na quarantine homes them where they take the exams. How una they make it happen in terms of people in the isolation because una no one for let them mix with other people and because at that time una no know their status. How it happen for let them go take exam while in the quarantine home?
Not through education and through monitoring and supervision. So because we get professionals where they deal with this, because don't forget, even when they're at their homes, one way or the other, then they interact. Just that way they give them strict guidelines, make sure so where you do at your home, not do anything, because when you do quarantine, you don't know your status at that point. So when somebody in a quarantine, not necessarily means say the person has been proven to be positive. Because if you're positive, then you move from quarantine, they take you now to the isolation center. We don't know the person's status.
It's as bad as anything can happen.
Yes, but they give you all the necessary precautions. So even if we pull you come on a quarantine and take you to the exam center, even that movement from the quarantine to the exam center, we get precautions who they take. And when you are at the examination center, we also get precautions where you follow.
What's not the precaution where you follow where you do in the exam center?
Not just the usual IPC what they do. The same precaution where you go take where you do at your home, and the same precaution you go take where you do in an exam center. So the face masking, the physical distancing, all of that, would they make sure, say, from one section of the society to the other, would they maintain them across the line.
Anybody they currently in a salon where they take the exam, the WAS exam, where in a positive case of the virus?
I know say there was one positive case we be talk about in the press briefing 48 hours ago. I will get for noting at the status at this point. But the one we are sure about, the quarantine, in terms of treatment, I'm not sure. I don't think say that is the case as at today.
So in terms of the person we positive, the last information we get, now waiting up in the status, did they take the exam at all?
The person the family be worried as to whether the person go able for taking exam. That was before the 17th, really, for be precise. So I'm not able to check the position now when the WASC exam don't start.
But you don't see a photo where a gentleman in pink, somebody there behind them in full gears, in PPEs, they take exam where people be don't they assume say something as salon this person here, so you aware of them?
No, I know aware. I know say am yet. They not bring that to me attention. I go check if na salon. But really, when I dey come today, I also try for talk to case management and talk to quarantine. I able for confirm from quarantine. Say in western area, then we get 2 people in quarantine way for sit WASC, but the one person finished in quarantine yesterday. So you just get one in quarantine way, then they send vehicle for go city exam. Whether we get anybody way infected really with the city examination, not to my knowledge at this point really.
So in this situation, how una they relate with the educational body them for put modalities in place for them? We don't see the MPSC just pass, the WASC they on and BKSF they come. How una they work with the body them we responsible for book learning at the country for put modalities in place for ensure say then people are able to sit their own exam if you in that kind of situation there?
First, I think we need to commend the 2 ministries in education, higher and technical and basic and senior secondary education, because they don't do a lot of planning, they don't engage widely and consult widely the stakeholders in education on this. Up to the point where then be think say they can roll out the guidelines now for picking them for Kana school and also for tertiary institution. I think say they don't put a lot into this and I want to commend them and NACOVAC will continue for work with them. For we in NACOVAC, we continue for work with the education stakeholders, including the ministries, but we believe say another person way really pivotal in all of this, now the parents them. And we will continue for talk to parents because me know they imagine at this time they talk about a dangerous virus like this. You go imagine for left you picking going to school and not get face mask. You know, the same thing we will talk about the one that within tertiary institutions. We think say they should be mature and responsible enough for know about the dangers we surround this situation. And we all for work collectively for make sure say we keep ourselves safe and protect our loved ones they around with. So NACOVAC, they continue for engage with them all the way on this one.
All right, Solomon Jamiru, spokesperson and NACOVAC, continue for the between at the studio. The program Good Morning Salon, they continue. Don't forget to continue for sending message to the number 0779819181 or go now Radio Democracy Facebook page or YouTube and drop your comments. We'll go for a short commercial break and can look at more issues in the program this morning.
Better don't come. Now Union Trust Bank again. Union Salon Banco. Union Trust Bank get plenty product and service there for you. You must get what you want to go better. Like we savings account, ide. Current account, ide. Fixed deposit account, ide. Credit facility, ide. All for you. Me and you. Union Trust Bank, that's a loan for me and you. Kids future savings account, ide. School fee savings account, ide. Pay advance salary scheme there. We branch and they all up on Nasalon. Boko no kenema, we dey. Kabala mabogo kakambia, we dey. Jala free town loan we dey. And my 91, me and you. Union Trust Bank.